small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say are wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream all out tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. I'm losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep. Say I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home, but there's a fire burning in my bones. I still believe, oh, I still believe in all of those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream all out tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? Let me hear you at home. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. And I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Yeah, I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
Cancer hasn't stopped, and neither has the American Cancer Society. You guys are amazing.
These days, it's easy to feel helpless. Like the world moves without regard for love. Like together is a past tense, and our future is uncertain. It's easy to feel like our problems are too big to solve.
I asked myself, why me? But then I realized that cancer doesn't discriminate. Cancer can happen to anybody.
But every big problem is just a series of small ones. The vague but striking fear of a diagnosis, lessened with every late-night question answered. The complex web of individual diseases, untangled with every rogue cell understood. The reality that treatment is out of reach, eliminated with every right to treatment coordinated, and every place to stay secured. The overwhelming burden of the work left to do lowered with every fundraising goal met and every life-saving bill passed. We can't end cancer alone. But when each one of our 1.5 million volunteers, staff, and researchers solves a small problem, hope gets bigger.
Good evening and welcome to NYC United Against Cancer, an evening to benefit the American Cancer Society. My name is Sade Berenois and I am honored to be your host this evening. Tonight we come together to make a difference in the fight against cancer. Volunteers from all over New York City have participated in the planning of our program tonight. They are determined to continue to raise critical funds for the Society's patient service programs and cutting-edge cancer research investments, because cancer hasn't stopped during this pandemic, and neither will we. Throughout the evening, we would love to hear from you, and you can feel free to click on the chat box right there at the bottom of your screen to share a comment or question. You can text to donate by texting NYC United to 44321, or you can click the donate link at the side of your screen or visit our website at nycunitedagainstcancer.org to make an online donation or to bid on our incredible auction packages. And there are a lot of great things out there, so make sure you check them out. Every donation helps the American Cancer Society serve cancer patients and their families, many of whom are particularly vulnerable during the COVID-19 pandemic. And here to help us understand what is at stake during this challenging time for both cancer patients and the American Cancer Society is National ACS Board member and volunteer and native New Yorker, Mr. Gary Shedlin. Hi, Gary.
Thank you, Sade, and good evening, everyone. As a third-generation American Cancer Society volunteer, following in the footsteps of my grandfather, I have a fair amount of context when I say that the American Cancer Society has never faced a threat to their mission like COVID-19. COVID-19 is affecting cancer patients' ability to get care, pay for care, and to navigate the rapidly changing healthcare landscape. At the same time, the pandemic has severely impeded ACS's annual fundraising, creating a significant financial hardship. Because the work ACS does is so important to cancer patients and families that rely on them, we've had to implement difficult cost-saving measures, reducing our overall spend by approximately 30% through cuts to both personnel and non-personnel expense. However, without additional support, for the first time ever, our cancer research budget may be in jeopardy. Let me remind you that research funded by the American Cancer Society has played a role in almost every major cancer breakthrough in the last century. We simply can't let that happen. Without your support, additional budget cuts will mean a generation of cancer research lost, fewer screening tools and treatment options, and ultimately more unnecessary deaths from cancer in the future. If you're able to support the American Cancer Society with a generous donation, there has never been a time of more urgent need. If you're able to join us as a volunteer, we need you now more than ever. So on behalf of all American Cancer Society volunteers, employees, and researchers, thank you for your consideration in this very desperate time. Please stay strong and healthy and have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, we're ready to get down to business. We have a big job to do this evening, raising life-saving funds for the American Cancer Society and continuing to move our fundraising thermometer to the top. And because every great charity event starts with a VIP cocktail reception, we are thrilled to introduce our VIP mixologist for this evening, another native New Yorker, Chef Bobby Flay. Hey, Bobby.
Thanks, Sade. So for tonight's cocktail, I'm going to make something I'm calling the smoky pomegranate. So let's get it going. To make the smoky pomegranate, we need a handful of things here. We need some reposado tequila. If you don't have reposado, you could I would say use silver tequila before you use añejo. Añejo is nice and sort of full body, but I think it's better as a sipping tequila, sort of on its own. So reposado or silver tequila, some Cuancho, some orange liqueur. We need some lime juice, some fresh lime juice, of course, some mezcal, some pomegranate juice, and some pomegranate molasses. And then for garnish, we're going to add some pomegranate seeds because they're so beautiful. They look like little baby red jewels or rubies. And then an orange peel. And then, of course, to make a great cocktail, you need a lot of ice. So we're going to start off by, I have my measures here. So we have 1 ounce of the reposado tequila, 1 ounce of the orange liqueur, I'm using Cuancho tonight. Then we have 1 ounce of fresh lime juice. Squeeze this ahead of time if you want. Then we have a 1/2 ounce. We gotta flip it over to the 1/2 ounce measure. 1/2 ounce of pomegranate juice. I'm using Palm, which has become obviously very, very popular. You can find that in any supermarket. Some pomegranate molasses, which is an ingredient that I have in my cupboard to cook with all the time, but I'm going to use it for my cocktails as well. It's just basically reduced pomegranate juice, so it has like a good intensity to it. And then a 1/2 ounce of mezcal. It's going to give it that nice smoky flavor and just add a little bit more of a kick to it. This is a really beautiful fall cocktail. Okay, then we're going to shake it up, make sure it's nice and covered. Shake it for about 10 seconds. You can kind of throw it up in the air if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not doing it. Looks not good. And then we're gonna take some ice. I'm gonna put it right into our glass here. Again, you wanna make sure you have a lot of ice for every cocktail. And then we're gonna strain it out. Every cocktail shaker will have a nice strain on the top. We're just gonna pour this right over our ice. And it actually gets a little viscosity from that pomegranate molasses, you know, it's sort of that very beautiful magenta color. And then we're gonna take a little bit of orange peel, so you just wanna very carefully take a little bit of that peel off. I just kind of like to bend it. Some bartenders light it to get the just to get some of the oils going. Put it on top, and then some beautiful pomegranate seeds. Oops. There you go. Happy fall, everybody. Smoky pomegranate. All right, Sade, this one's for you.
Bobby, I wish I had a cocktail, but cheers to you. Thank you for getting us started. And if you were mixing along with Bobby, be sure to show us your cocktail by posting a picture on social media with the hashtag NYC United Against Cancer, and we will post them throughout the program. And while we're talking all things mixology, we do have an auction package that will give you and 11 members of your corn team the opportunity to be an actual distiller for a day as part of our luxury weekend getaway on Long Island's gorgeous North Fork. Make sure to check out our incredible auction items at nycunitedagainstcancer.org at any time and place your bids. Keep in mind, all proceeds go to support the life-saving work of the American Cancer Society. And let's talk about that work. In 2019, right here in New York, the American Cancer Society responded to 63,000 calls from New Yorkers needing information and provided 23,000 free, safe rides to treatment and 22,500 free nights of lodging. And that is just a few of the Society's services. In 2020, everything changed. Let's take a look.
It's the deadliest pandemic in over a century. And with daily case records surging across the country, the virus's threat remains very real, especially to those fighting another grueling battle: cancer.
When you get a cancer diagnosis during a COVID pandemic, you do everything you can to just stay alive.
In the United States, 17 million people are living with cancer, and another 1.8 million will be diagnosed this year. These two merciless diseases are testing their resolve like few challenges in history.
I am constantly on guard and do everything that I can to keep myself healthy and minimize my risk.
From procedures being postponed to clinical trials being canceled, patients and survivors have had their health care greatly impacted by the pandemic.
When I was told having cancer wasn't considered an emergency and I wouldn't be allowed to get my routine tests, it was just disappointing because I'm not able to see exactly what's going on inside my body and how my medications are or are not affecting me.
You start to go crazy in your head because all you are surrounded by at this point is either COVID fear or cancer fear.
For over 100 years, the American Cancer Society has fueled the fight against cancer with funding, care, and hope.
It's so imperative that our patients are getting to contact a live person while they're going through their cancer journey.
ACS needs your help. Cancer doesn't stop, so neither will we.
Hi, my name is Sandy Diamond, and I've been a volunteer with the American Cancer Society for 17 years, been a Hope Lodge volunteer for the past 14 years.
So my name is Ron Diamond. Obviously, I'm Sandy's husband, and I'm very inspired by the work that Sandy does here at American Cancer at Hope Lodge. It's been a passion of ours since Sandy became a volunteer here, and we continue to recognize that the work we're doing is not over. It's just beginning, because the mission still needs to be completed.
People come from all over the world to come to Hope Lodge. It's free of charge. It's a safe haven for them. And when they get here, they see that so many guests at the lodge have the same issues that they do as far as their cancer treatment. And there's a tremendous camaraderie here between them. So it's just a wonderful, safe place to be. The people who stay here, we call them our guests. And the fact that they're not going to give up the fight to live, I'm not going to give up the fact that I like to come here and do tea time with them and get them through the hardest time that they've ever had in their lives.
And when you think about that moment you hear that you have the disease, your mission then is to say to cancer, you're not taking me. I'm not giving up. This is not your day, cancer. I'm going to fight hard and win. And what is our part? Our part is to make sure that as you're fighting, we're supplying you the things that you need in your fight. So the key here is that as we sit here today, it is not the amount, it is the gesture. Everyone who gives their time or reaches in their pocket is a hero and join together with cancer patients to try to get the win. So we urge you to try to do whatever you can to help the people in their total fight against this dreaded disease.
And thank you, Sandy and Ron, for your incredible volunteerism. If you would like to support American Cancer Society patient programs like the NYC Hope Lodge, you can donate by tax or online by visiting our website. The information is right on your screen. Every donation is so appreciated. In many ways, there has never been a worse time to be a cancer patient, but the ACS is there to help with free services and support 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And we want to make sure they can continue this life-saving work. And it is work that includes the efforts of 1.5 million volunteers. Volunteers like Aaron Fogarty and Daniel Albright, who created Dance Against Cancer at the age of 24 in response to each of them having a parent who was battling cancer. They started in a tiny black box theater and raised $28,000 just in their first year. In 2019, Dance Against Cancer was held at Lincoln Center, featuring the artistry of some of the world's best dancers. And its lifetime fundraising total topped $2 million raised for the American Cancer Society. Aaron and Daniel have created a special piece for us this evening. Let's take a look.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And for that we have each other, and we will rise, we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
I'm Erin Fogarty.
And I'm Daniel Ulbrich.
And producing Parents Against Cancer over the last 10 years has truly proven to us the impact we can make when we come together as a community.
Now, each of us have our own personal reasons why we get involved, but we know that these stories coming together can unite behind a common cause.
And we know these are challenging times, but if you are able to join us tonight and make a contribution, your contribution will go so far with the American Cancer Society. We need your help now more than ever.
And on behalf of our fellow volunteers, we want to thank you for supporting our stories.
We volunteer for the American Cancer Society in memory of our father.
I volunteer at Hope Lodge in honor of my mother.
I volunteer for my sister Jerry.
I volunteer for the American Cancer Society in honor of my mom.
I volunteer for the American Cancer Society in memory of my grandfather.
I volunteer at the American Cancer Society in honor of my godmother, Nettie Wells.
I volunteer for the American Cancer Society because I am a cancer survivor.
I volunteer for the American Cancer Society because I am a two-time cancer survivor.
I am a two-time cancer survivor. I volunteer in memory of my dear mother, dear grandmother, and dear aunts and uncles, all who have passed from this disease.
And I volunteer because of my mother.
I volunteer for the American Cancer Society because no one should ever lose a loved one to cancer.
I volunteer for the American Cancer Society for the 117,910 people here in New York who will be told this year that they have cancer.
And that was great. Well, congratulations to all the incredible volunteers who make the Society's work possible. And if you are able to help, remember, you can text or visit our website to make a donation or check out our amazing auction items. We are so grateful for your support, and every donation helps. It really, really does. Your donations fund the Society's life-saving work, including a long-standing commitment to health equity and creating access to quality cancer care for everyone.
Cancer is a disease that can affect anyone, but it doesn't affect individuals equally. When the quality of health care differs between people based on their income, race, ethnicity, gender, age, or where they live, it creates a health disparity. And now many of these communities who face challenges in the best of times are being disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. Hi, I'm Tom Whiff, and I've been a volunteer with the American Cancer Society and the Financial Services Cares Gala for nearly a decade. And I'm thrilled to be here today as both a volunteer and a cancer survivor. But I'm even more thrilled to introduce you to my friend, Dalvin Tomlinson from the New York Football Giants.
Hey, Tom, great to be here with you today.
Same here. And as a cancer patient myself, Dalvin, I'm familiar with the challenges that fighting cancer presents. But the one challenge that I have been very fortunate not to have to face is accessing high quality health care. For too many people, that access just doesn't exist. Factors like poverty and race can impact every step of the cancer journey.
You're completely right, Tom. The cancer death rate is 20% higher in our poorest communities. And on top of that, minorities are hit the hardest.
So Dalvin, what are we going to do about this?
Through the Crucial Catch program, the NFL and the American Cancer Society have been working hard to level the health equity playing field and provide access to screening. Because of the Crucial Catch, we've provided more than 365,000 cancer screenings in the communities of need. That's why I'm so proud to be involved in this program.
Well, Dalvin, that is amazing work. And I know we're both honored to introduce a Crucial Catch grant recipient, Chief Medical Officer of Long Island FQHC, Dr. Tarika James.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tarika James. I'm the Chief Medical Officer of Long Island FQHC. The Long Island FQHC is a not-for-profit family health center with 10 locations all over Nassau County, Long Island. We provide care to all patients regardless of their ability to pay, regardless of citizenship, and regardless of insurance status. Long Island FQHC serves about 33,000 individuals each year. The number one barrier in our patient population is insurance access and access to affordable health care. Several other barriers, including food insecurity, housing insecurity. So the Long Island FQHC overcomes many of these barriers by partnering with local community organizations, community-based organizations, to provide some of these social services to our patients. We also participate in many grants that help to cover the cost of care. I believe that funding programs like this, like the American Cancer Society Crucial Catch Grant, are much needed in communities of color, in communities where insurance and access to care are limited, because some of the major causes of death in this country are several preventable types of cancer. The better our screening processes are, the more patients we can catch before they wind up with end-stage cancers that can no longer be treated. I think it helps to bring equity to healthcare, that people who normally would not have the ability to afford these services because of their socioeconomic status, because of their race, are now getting more access to the services that they need. I think it helps to bring balance to the way healthcare is provided in this country. So these funds and these resources are going to patients who need it the most. And in the long run, we will be saving lives, and that's the ultimate goal. So I highly encourage you to continue to support the American Cancer Society and providing programs like this by donating and by being an advocate for cancer prevention.
Thanks to Dr. James for sharing all the important work that they've been doing. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely. And what incredible work Dr. James is doing. And Dalvin, congratulations to you and the NFL for making such a difference.
And congratulations to you too. I think we make an excellent team.
I agree. And if you all would like to join our team and support this important work, please consider giving a gift tonight by text or online. The information is on your screen.
And we appreciate everything that y'all are able to give tonight. And we want to say thank you and have a great night.
And thank you, Tom and Dalvin. And remember, if you would like to join their team and support the American Cancer Society's life-saving work, you can text to give or make an online donation anytime. And I just checked, and as you can see, our thermometer is moving in the right direction, but there is still so much more work to do. And never before in the history of the American Cancer Society has there been more work to do in the area of cancer research funding. The American Cancer Society is the largest non-governmental funder of cancer research in the U.S. But for the first time in a century, the Society's research budget is in jeopardy. Failing to invest in research now means that we will have less knowledge on how to prevent and treat cancer in the future. Cancer patients simply can't afford to be put on hold, and neither can the next breakthrough.
Hello, my name is Allison Grote, and if you don't mind, I'd like to tell you a little love story. Back in the summer of 2014, I was 31 and just starting to dip my toe back into the dating pool. My friend had convinced me to give a dating app a try. It never really seemed like my type of thing, but the older you get, the smaller and more shallow that dating pool seems to get. So I bit the bullet and agreed to go on my first and subsequently last dating app date that August. It sounds absolutely insane, but the second I swiped right on Glenn, the thought that popped into my head was, I'm pretty sure that's going to change my life. From the get-go, we wanted to keep things light, so no pressure to jump into a relationship or anything serious. Looking back now, that's pretty comical because little did I know how serious life was about to get. I'd been having some pain and bleeding for some time, and on a Monday morning at the end of that October, I found myself waking up from my colonoscopy with my doctor standing over me telling me it's cancer. I ran the gauntlet of tests and scans that accompany the new diagnosis of stage 3 colorectal cancer. And when I broke the news to Glenn, I pressed the point that I didn't want a pity boyfriend. The last thing I wanted was for him to stick around because I had cancer. He was free to walk away with no judgment, and if he did decide to stay, we weren't going to talk about it. We were going to continue to keep things light. He was going to be my time off from cancer, and that's exactly what he was. The first year of our relationship, I was in and out of radiation and chemo. I would only see Glenn on the days that I felt well. He was the light at the end of every chemo cycle, and I was absolutely falling for him. When treatment failed to completely kill the cancer, I was told that body-altering surgery was my only chance at a complete response. I remember groggily being wheeled into the OR and turning to the nurse on the side of my gurney and begging her to tell my surgeon that he has to save me because I just fell in love. When I woke up in my hospital room the next day, Glenn was sitting across from my bed with flowers in his hand. I wish I could end the story at this point and tell you that we've been living our happily ever after, but unfortunately that's not the case. In 2016, we found out that cancer was back. My chance of survival had dropped from 90 to 30%, and there was more devastating surgery ahead of me. Glenn responded to this news by getting down on one knee and proposing with a box of cufflinks because he didn't have a ring, but he wanted me to know he wasn't going anywhere, regardless of what cancer was doing to my body. We got secretly married at the courthouse 3 days later, and I had my surgery 2 weeks after that. 2017 brought another occurrence. This time, it was inoperable and at this point incurable. I had to give up my career for a life of bi-weekly chemotherapy treatments. And we all know those treatments will not cure my cancer. They merely keep it at bay. And there will be a time when they stop working. I think one of the hardest aspects of having cancer is living with what you lose. There has been so much that I've had to give up to cancer. My career, my dream of carrying a baby, just my life outside of this house for the past 6 months. But one of the most devastating has been the loss of my ability to dream of what my future would look like. We can't look past my 3-month scans. We have no idea when we'll be told that I've exhausted all options. In the lead up to our wedding day, I was deathly afraid that I was going to have to walk down the aisle knowing that the vows that I was about to make had an expiration date. I would give anything to dream about growing old with my husband again. This is why the work of the American Cancer Society is so important. The money raised tonight for research funding gives me hope that there will be a curative option for my cancer in the near future. And we're almost there. In just the 6 years since I've been diagnosed, multiple new options have been brought to the trial stage, many of which would never have gotten there without the critical funding provided by the American Cancer Society. What you give matters. I'm living proof of that. It's incredible to know that you have the power to give me my life back. I don't take that lightly, and for that, I want to thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for donating. And on behalf of the millions of cancer patients and the people that love them, thank you for giving us our futures back.
And keep in mind, there may be a breakthrough that needs your support right now. So please help us if you can to raise the funding required to save a generation of cancer research and to ensure all cancer patients have a fighting chance. And now it is my pleasure to introduce you to someone who has spent her career helping to give cancer patients a fighting chance. Chief Operating Officer of the American Cancer Society, Chris Kim. Hi, Chris.
I'm thrilled to be a part of New York City United Against Cancer and grateful to each of you who could join. As Chief Operating Officer for the American Cancer Society's efforts nationwide and globally, I can assure you that despite the pandemic, we are doing everything possible to get people back to screening, to diagnosis, to treatment, and to survivorship. I take extra pride in tonight's collaboration because New York City is my home. And for more than 20 years, I've witnessed firsthand the success of CEOs Against Cancer, Coaches versus Cancer, Dance Against Cancer, which marks its 10th year, the Hope Lodge Bash, and the Financial Services Cares Gala. I want to acknowledge longtime co-chair of the Financial Services Cares Gala, Rob Arning, who 15 years ago helped found the event in memory of Eugene O'Kelly, CEO of KPMG. These events have raised millions of dollars, but they've also brought the fight to diverse audiences and industries whose support we need. Because of your dynamic leadership and engagement, your events are not only best in class, they're one of a kind. COVID-19 has taken so much from so many. It's made life unbearable for so many. Thank you for ensuring we don't forget about cancer patients whose journeys are already so hard. Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing. Sade, back to you.
And thank you, Chris, and thank you to everyone who has donated. You are truly helping to make a difference for cancer patients and their families. And there is still time to donate by text or on our website or by placing a winning bid on one of the fabulous items in our auction. Every donation helps. And remember, when we come together, there is nothing we can't do. Now, let's check in on our social media wall. It's so great to see all of these pictures. If you want to see your picture on our wall, post your picture on social media with the hashtag NYC United Against Cancer. Next up are a few of New York's incomparable sports personalities to drive that message home.
New York is home to great sports teams, and these teams are well known for giving back to the communities where they live and play. Much of this work is done in partnership with the American Cancer Society, the NHL with Hockey Fights Cancer, the NFL with Crucial Catch, college basketball coaches with Coaches versus Cancer. Together with their fans, players and coaches unite against a common adversary, cancer. Sports took a break because of COVID-19, but cancer didn't. It's time to get back to work. We're one team in the fight against cancer.
We're united, New York.
One team, one fight.
One team, one fight.
United against cancer.
New York.
One team, one fight.
And what an incredible message of unity. And a reminder that we are all in this fight together. One team, one fight. And thank you for joining our team tonight. And thank you for your support. You have truly made a difference in the lives of cancer patients, caregivers, and researchers. We are all so grateful. On behalf of the American Cancer Society, and especially those we serve, thank you and good night.
Midnight creeps so slowly into hearts of men who need more than they get. Daylight deals a bad to a woman who had made too many bets. The mirror stares you in the face and says, baby, it don't work. much, y'all. You guys have been such a lovely audience so far. So I just want to tell you something. On all the places that we could be on a Sunday, there is no place that I'd rather be than with you.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place to rather be. I'll work great forever, exalted in the sea. But as long as you are with me, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. Yeah, we're different and we're same. Gave you another name, ripped up the factory. Oh yeah, if you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. No, with all of yours, you can shake me. When I am with you, there's no place to rather be. No, 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 no place to rather be. No, 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 no place to rather be. No, 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 no place to rather be. When I am with you, there's no place to rather be. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yellow diamonds in the lights, and you're standing side by side as a shadow crosses mine. What it takes to come alive. It's the way I'm feeling, I just can't deny. But I gotta let it go. Found love in a hopeless place. 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 Yeah, yeah, woo, yeah, yeah. Come on, everybody. Ready? Now everybody scream. Found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. Found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. Found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place.
All right, you warmed up yet or what? Yo, guys, let's take these people to a beautiful place I like to call Motown. 2, 3, 4.
Oh, Sam, I think it's story time. Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, baby.
Just call my name. I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough
to keep me from getting to you. Don't you know that there
ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough
to keep me from getting to you, babe?
Shake it.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
No.
Ain't no valley low enough. No, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you. Ain't no mountain high enough.
No.
Ain't no valley low enough. No.